Good day to you, my friends, wherever you are on the planet. This is Uncle Fine Killer Jones from the People's Station, Magic 102.1 Houston. And we are still concerned about a very specialized area of our city, of our nation, folks getting vaccinated for COVID. It's still an issue. And our friends at the Houston Area Urban League have vaccinated over 5,000 folk here in the Houston area since the pandemic. And we're here to talk to a few of our friends at the Urban League to talk about the continued effort to get folks vaccinated for 2023 and beyond, especially the babies. So let me bring up a dear friend. We've known each other for quite some time. Eric Good, the Senior Vice President for the Houston Area League. Hello, Eric. How are you, sir?
Larry, I'm doing well. It is always a pleasure to see you, sir. I appreciate the time this morning.
Yes, sir. Romel Williams, Manager of Workforce Development and Training, Houston Area Urban League. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Larry. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. And Renee Stevens, Senior Health Navigator, Houston Area Urban League. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Romel, let's get right into this. But let me start with Eric. What made the Urban League start to get involved with vaccinations and helping with COVID relief?
Larry, this was an opportunity provided to the Houston Area Urban League through the National Urban League with funding from the Health Resources and Services Administration of our federal government. The interesting thing about this HRSA All-In program was that the impetus was on job creation, which is why it is led by Romel Williams in workforce development. So the greatest opportunity for us was to hire 20 health navigators that then provided outreach, education with a work product of vaccines in underserved communities. So over the past year, we've been able to do that. These positions provided livable wages and in many cases helped to supplement people's income during the COVID process.
Which leads me, Romel, right into this. Talk about the partnership you guys have and how do you develop it?
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, Larry. Well, without the partnerships, we would not have been able to do this work. Just from the onset, and our partnership with Houston Independent School District was just a perfect match for us through our family and community engagement sessions that we do at multiple schools throughout the district. On any weekday, we can be in front of 200 to 300 people. So we knew that that would be a natural fit to provide those types of vaccinations and also educational services regarding COVID-19. And then we also looked at partnering with those that are doing the vaccinations in our city, with the city health department, Harris Public Health. We also partner with a private pharmacy, Phoenix Pharmacy. So we have tapped a lot of different agencies to make sure that we're able to get the information out, educate the community, but more importantly, getting shots into people's arms. We have even, partnered with our dear friend and yours as well, Miss Janice Weaver, for her recent blood drive, and also with Harris Utility District number 15. So anyone that's doing this work, we want to try to partner with them. And I don't want to not mention the Third Ward Community Cloth as well. They're a dear partner of ours, making sure that we're hitting the areas that are high priority for us.
Renee, it seems like over the couple of years now, we've been supposedly out of the pandemic, not yet COVID free, that convincing people is not the issue, but we do need to close the vaccine gap. So what is that exactly?
Well, the understanding that we need to get rid of the myths. There's several fear and facts. Excuse me. So we want to get rid of the myths out there. One of the myths out there is saying that I've lasted this long without COVID, so and I feel I'm in danger of getting the vaccine. So there is no danger in getting the vaccine. It's a positive. The main thing we want to do is make sure everyone is up to date at getting their COVID vaccination. So 11.5% is the Black population. 38.6% is our Hispanic population, and 21.2%. So We want to close that gap and get the right percentage done to make sure everyone is educated and up to date on making sure they have the information they need to get their vaccination.
What I like to stress, guys, is that COVID is still very real. It's an active germ. It's a disease, and it's killing people or slowing folks down. And I know a lot of parents have toyed with this. We had the same question in our own home with our 7-year-old granddaughter. Should we get our children vaccinated? Um, what's the focal point now? Are we encouraging parents to do this, or still kind of letting them find their way?
No, we're encouraging parents to do that. Kids 6 months and older, we're encouraging to get the vaccination. There are
Mhm.
some that still get sick, but we all get sick without taking your vaccinations, because the preventive is what's important. Up to date is what's important. There's a bivalent shot that we're getting now that's supposed to cover the COVID vaccination. So you get your primary series, and then you get the booster as well. So the key word is getting and staying updated with the primary and vaccinations.
So
Larry,
yes,
I
sir.
was just going to say the COVID has evolved, and just the other day they talked about a new strain. So this would probably be the third or fourth iteration of COVID that is now affecting our country, and simultaneously you have the federal government who is ending the public health emergency, which then has an effect on people's benefits. And so in some cases, people's benefits are going to be reduced. Certain elements of COVID protection are going to be eliminated from those benefits. And so, as Renee said, it's really important to make sure that people are informed about how this is progressing so that they can make the right decisions in terms of coverage, getting the vaccine now while it's available, understanding how this is evolving, and so we can just be as protected for ourselves and our families as possible.
That was where we were going. To folk who might have been hesitant about getting the vaccine, or all of the myths and rumors, uh, I'm about to celebrate my 70th birthday. I got the latest update in my of the vaccine in my right arm. I got the latest update of the flu shot in my left arm on the same day.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, you can.
Um, it no ill effects. Oh, your arm's gonna hurt and this is gonna happen. And nothing, nothing. I felt nothing. So all of these weird stories, how do we deflect that, or what do we need to do to help people understand that this is really the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones going forward?
I think the first thing is through education. Our responsibility is to provide people with the right information, the correct information, and those guidelines come from the CDC. And we want to make sure that people understand that the Urban League is there promoting the vaccination. So this is a trusted agency, this is a trusted organization, in that if you want access, that you can gain access to getting the vaccinations. One of the key elements is that at our vaccination sites, we have nurses on site that educate the public on the vaccinations, the side effects, the pros and the cons, if you will. So the information is not only coming from the Urban League, but it's also coming from healthcare professionals. And people are able to make their own decisions. We do understand that there are those there that will not be persuaded to that yes, and we understand that. But we also just let them know that we do not want to revert back to 2020. Uh, we are opening even more, and I believe that people like the quality of life that we're moving back into again, that sense of normalcy. And that's the key point, is to make sure that our children are safe, our families are safe, and that we can continue to thrive the way that we want to thrive.
Renee, may I ask, what does fully vaccinated mean?
That word fully is
Yeah.
kind of misunderstood. The key thing is that you're up to date, because depending on your age, at what time, and your illness, what you're immune to, that's why it's important to talk to your doctor to make sure that you understand Like what I was saying earlier, there's a primary series. So like a first and second shot, they're saying that that could be a full dose of vaccination. But what we want to encourage is that everybody get, whenever there's a new variant coming out, it's going to change. So that's what you need to understand. That when I say updated, that's what I mean. You can get the primary or just the first and second shot, but if there's a booster that comes out, it is recommended that we all get that.
Okay. Are there any risk, Renee, for folk getting the shots that we know of?
Well, there are risks for any shot that you get, any
Okay.
vaccination. So we're talking about COVID. So for the children, yes, adults and some kids infected with the coronavirus can get severe lung infections, become
Hmm.
very sick. But the whole key understanding is making sure that you are consulting with your doctor because everybody has different illnesses, or in your family, certain things run, certain illnesses occur. So the key thing, again, as always, is fully vaccinated means making sure you're updated, getting all the shots that you need.
And Eric Ramel was leaning into this. Can you find free vaccinations anymore? Because I know services are kind of drying up.
The vaccine is still available through many of the partners that Ramel has mentioned. But again, the federal government ending this public health emergency is going to begin to limit the access,
Mm.
which is why it's so important for people to take advantage to get the vaccine if they are going to elect to do so. And then, Larry, one thing that I wanted to mention, COVID has been very interesting because if you are infected, there are a number of conditions that tend to remain in some individuals. So the symptoms of long COVID is part of also that educational process. We want to make sure that people understand that it's not just the initial onset, but some of the things that might result afterwards if they are infected by COVID. And then more importantly, that COVID, as you said at the onset, COVID is still with us and it just continues to evolve and it's going to really turn into that endemic kind of scenario where it is just like the flu. COVID is going to continue to show up year after year, but the more people are vaccinated, the more people are informed, and we can mitigate how that shows up in our community, especially in the communities of Black and Brown people.
And Ramel, what are the logistics? What does it take to actually vaccinate a large, massive amount of people, like 5,000 folks? How do you get that done?
Wow. Through great partnerships, a great and awesome group of navigators. The partnerships are critical. So if we're at schools, we're at libraries, we have held several events here at our Urban League office at 5260 Griggs. But it can take a team of nurses that can come out and they can probably bring a team of up to 10 folks as far as nurses just to administer the shots, to get people registered, to do the education piece. But it is a great undertaking, but we know that we're doing the community a great service by making sure that we're getting as many people vaccinated as possible. And I also want to add to what Eric mentioned, that public health emergency will end next month. It's set to end next month. So this is a sense of urgency to try to get as many people either their first primary or get up to date with their boosters, because after next month, there possibly could be a cost to getting your COVID-19 vaccinations.
And right now, we're offering this at no cost.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, great. Do you think, Renee, at some point we'll begin to talk about COVID? And I think you may have mentioned, I don't want to say it's simple, but like an annual flu shot, or getting your prostate checked, or ladies getting mammograms done. Is it going to be in that kind of verbiage that don't forget, get your COVID shot? It's
I
that
believe
season.
so.
Yeah.
It's not going away. What we're seeing are the different variants that are coming along. We never know when that's going to happen. So just like the flu shot, yes, the flu shot happens, but everything is updated. What happened 20, 30 years ago, was then 100 years ago. But, people died from flu and influenza. just like people died from COVID. But as long as they improve the vaccination and we get updated vaccinations, then that will help us tremendously.
I'm gonna go to Eric on a close, but I do want to let you know that I remember a, a polio shot. I remember a vaccine for measles, mumps, and chickenpox. I remember that, and the verbiage is it just became a part of your vernacular. It's just what you did to take care of your body, to protect yourself and your family. And I applaud the Urban League, and I applaud you caregivers and servers who just find a way to give back to the city. Which leads me to this, Eric. Your organization, the Houston Area Urban League, has a tremendous calendar for 2023. What can we in the Houston community look forward to for the remainder of this year?
You know, Larry, as we close out the HRSA All In program, we are preparing for a number of vaccine events through our family and community engagement sessions at the independent school district locations. But also we're preparing for the National Urban League Conference, which is coming to the city in July. We are going to convene, our 90 affiliate sisters, from across the country. Our corporate sponsors will be coming into the city of Houston. Mayor Turner is super excited, trying to drive 20,000 people to participate in Community Day. So that's really the highlight. But in addition, we have our annual Impact Luncheon, which is going to happen during the month of June, and then culminating in the annual fundraising for the Urban League through our Equal Opportunity Day Gala. So this year is really going to be epic for the Houston affiliate. We're super excited. The national conference hasn't been here since 1999. So we're excited about showcasing the city of Houston, showcasing the work that we're doing, amplifying the partnerships that we have with Magic 102, Radio 1 affiliates, City of Houston, and others. But really, really appreciate everything that you have done collectively over all these many years to provide a platform for this kind of information to reach the people that need it the most.
It's exciting work, especially with the Urban One, Radio One network, all of our affiliates across the country to feed into the National Urban League. And have folks come here for the national convention. It's going to be awesome, just absolutely awesome. The work has been great. Does anyone have anything to add to our conversation before we close out today?
No, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a great segment, and if anyone would like to get vaccinated and may not know where to go, they can certainly call the Houston Area Urban League, and we can direct them to where they are providing free vaccinations, testings to get up to date on all the information that they need in order to get vaccinated.
And I want to say one thing in regards to a special thank you to the Houston Area Urban League, because I was one of the ones who they hired to help get this program on. And, we talked about helping others, and they stepped up and helped me. They didn't know where I was at what point in my life, but hey, they hired me and we got the ball rolling. So thank you to the Urban League and to you, Radio One, for receiving us.
Well, I know the faith walk of many a member of the Houston Area Urban League. So we put it out in the atmosphere and we pray on it. Good things always happen. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time today. The information is always valuable. To our Magic listeners and those just finding us, you can always view and learn more about us at myhoustonmagic.com. We stay involved with the city, the county, the nation, because we are the people station. I'm Uncle Fonky, Larry Jones. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. May God bless you.